Hello everyone, this is Professor Gant, and I am making this video to sort of clarify some of the questions I've received about an assignment that we have in our Math 107 course. And it is in Module 6 and it's called the Basic Functions Lab. And so the point of this particular lab is to sort of get you familiar with Desmos, but also to get you familiar with what's called graphing transformations. And so what you see here is the actual assignment document that you will get if you click on that assignment in our course. And so I wanted to sort of demonstrate what this is asking you to do, just in case this seems a little foreign to you. So first, note here that for part A, it just says graph this function here. And so you're going to type it in exactly as you see it. And what Desmos will do is if you type in variables, it'll ask you, do you want sliders for those variables or not? So you're going to see that this is going to be relatively easy. We just kind of have to go through that process. So with that, let's go ahead and go to Desmos right quick. So if you type in desmos.com, this is where you'll get to. Go ahead and click on the graphing calculator. And so for part A, I'm just going to say y is equal to, and here, you can come here, go to the square root, x plus a, and then we're going to move our right arrow cursor over to get out of the square root sign. And then after that, we'll click plus b. And so do you see here where it is asking you, do you want sliders for these other two variables a and b? And usually it picks those because x is usually the independent variable that you use for your function. If you just click all, you'll see that this stuff is set up to 1. I'm going to set it to 0 just so that you can see everything in its pure form. And so now that we have that set up, notice that this says explain what happens to the graph when the value of b changes. Okay. And then, of course, it also says this here. Skip that one. Explain what happens to the graph when the value of a changes. So basically, we want to change a, see what happens, change b, see what happens. And then we want to explain in general what's going on, with the transformation of the square root function. So here, if we change a, notice if we go to the right, in other words, if we increase a, notice that our function is horizontally shifting to the left. If we go in the opposite direction, know that as a decreases, that the function is actually shifting to the right. And so this is called a horizontal shift. Okay. So similarly with b, you're going to see what a vertical shift up and vertical shift down looks like. So if we make b more positive, the graph shifts up, goes down, the graph shifts down. Okay. So, and in this assignment here, what you're going to do is just make simple statements about what you saw. Okay. So now part B. So part B and part C are going to be doing the same thing, just with a different type function. So the first function that we have here is basically a square root function. The next one is going to be a quadratic function. So we're going to go and repeat that process. So here I'm going to say y is equal to, and then type parenthesis a plus c, close parenthesis. And then from here, I want to do the exponent. So let me go back here and I'm going to press this so that I can do the exponent, put a 2. And then we're going to use our right arrow on your keyboard to get down out of the exponent and then do plus d. And then here again, click all for our sliders. Come here, I'll set this to 0. And then I'll cut this first graph off since we've already done that. And so now we see again, if we increase the value of c, graph goes to the left. If we decrease, goes to the right. And with d again, sort of the same thing. Graph goes up if we increase d, graph goes down vertically if we decrease d. Okay. So as you can see, whether the function is a square root function or if it is a quadratic function, anything that's being added to the x here directly, that's going to be a horizontal shift, and anything that's added to the entire function itself will be a vertical shift. And so now we have one more graph to do, which is essentially the absolute value function. And same sort of thing. We're just going to type it in, add our sliders, and see what happens there. So come here, say y is equal to, and then for the absolute value, I'll just click on this and do x plus f, and then I'm going to type, do that bar there, and then plus g, add my sliders, and then same sort of thing again. I'll click this off, and then again you see we go to the left and right, how the graph horizontally shifts, and then how it goes up and down from there. Okay, and again, just to kind of see this in its pure form, you can go ahead and set this to 0 first, and then kind of see how it slides that way, and then here how this goes up and down that way. Okay, so when you turn in your work, all that you're doing is basically commenting on what it is that you saw for each of these functions. So not anything too difficult to do. It's just a matter of doing it. So with that, I hope this clears up the questions that people may have about this assignment, and let me know if there's anything else that was unclear. Take care.